Sony and LG woo gamers with brand new TVs like the Sony A90J and the LG G1 Evo experience, but they've not yet talked about burn-in. Now, this becomes a problem as they start pushing technologies like variable refresh rate and G-Sync more and more, and even with some outlets labeling these TVs as potentially the best TVs for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. This is a problem because if they haven't officially confirmed that they've solved burn-in, you're probably going to have yourself a problem if you're a super competitive player. And I bring this up because they talk about lowering the input lag with this new introduction of 120 Hz. Why recently on HDTV Test, he's talking about why 120 Hz wins. But you see, with all these publications and YouTubers talking about the benefits of the gaming, on these higher refresh rates and on these OLED displays, nobody's really talking about the elephant rhino in the room. If they haven't fixed burn-in, you're not exactly good. And the reason I say that is because, in my experience, I've seen image retention on my screen from tiles on just Hulu, Netflix, Xbox home menu, PlayStation. If you can see image retention from just that, imagine if you kept those tiles up for a prolonged period of time. They might actually burn in. And these are just at the current level of brightness that we have right now. Now, a little backstory here. OLED tends to burn in when you have higher levels of peak brightness. That's why they do things like lower the brightness through logo luminance features or the automatic brightness limiter that'll kick in. But these are all methods to reduce your brightness. Unless they found a way to stop those pixels from burning in, which they haven't said, making it brighter could only compound the problem and the issue further. Now, again, I'm not an engineer for these companies. I'm not going to pretend I understand how they were engineered. But I will say that it is a bit concerning that everybody's just jumping at the fact that they're capable of these things, but not actually asking questions at this stage. Because we know now that these companies are trying to charge $3,000 for these televisions. That is something that is a bit ridiculous considering that's just for a 55-inch. No 55-inch, in my personal opinion, is ever worth that kind of money. And if it is, it better do a whole lot more than just be brighter. And my problem is, none of these companies are going to warranty burn-in if you do get it, and they almost always pass the buck and put the problem on you, saying you were abusive. But then in the same breath, these same companies want to turn around and say, hey, you can use this for gaming. This is a gaming TV. But if you're a competitive, serious gamer, a competitive gamer trying to get ranked at the top of the charts, grinding endless hours in training mode, trying to hone your skills in your perfect fighting game or racing game, then guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to be told that, well, who told you to leave those HUDs in your racing game on for 14 hours? Who told you to grind out in your game for 12 hours? That's abuse. But the reality is, if you had an LED television, a QLED television, you wouldn't have these problems. Now, don't misinterpret this. I have no bias towards one technology or the other. I want everybody to win as a consumer. That's really all I care about here. And I don't think we win with companies putting out brighter televisions, but not really standing behind our concerns that we've voiced for years at this point. There's no secret. People are afraid of OLED because they don't want the risk of burn-in. Many of the people on this channel would literally buy an OLED in an instant if they knew they had that peace of mind to never have to worry about it. And having to purchase external warranties to make sure you're good, or to try to do other tricks like buying from Costco to get a warranty bundle in for 5 years, like all this other stuff shouldn't have to be a thing when you're talking about such a high dollar amount. Now, again, this video is just to pose a question. Did they actually fix burn-in to get the conversation rolling? Because while, yes, I even am very excited to see what the new X1 processor has to offer, the new gaming features, and even the new brightness has to offer, I'm almost immediately feeling that almost concern for the next level of television consumer because they're not asking enough questions, and that's a good way to get screwed over.